Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jazz Night here at SoHo. This is the first of our groups tonight. This is our Santa Barbara City College Good Times Big Band. Yes. And this is our first outing for the semester here, so we're very excited to be here with you. We're actually going to give you 5 tunes. We don't usually do that on our first one, but we've been excited and ready to go on this one. So we're going to start off with a good old classic from the year 1960. This was written by famous sax player Benny Carter for the Count Basie Big Band as part of what was known as the Kansas City Suite. And so this one I had trouble trying to get the name correct because it's a tricky one. It's called Blue 5 Jive. Blue 5 Jive. I kept getting mixed up on which the order was on my 5s and my jives. Blue 5 Jive. And we're going to go ahead and hear from a few soloists on this one. We're going to be hearing here from Chris Pedersen over here on the tenor sax. Back there on the trumpet, we're hearing from Lenny Price back there on as well. And over here tickling the 88s, Mr. John Douglas, who also is faculty over at the college. So hope you enjoy this one here. Blue 5 Jive by Benny Carter. One, two, 1, 2, 3.
back, please. All the way.
Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and slow things down here with a classic Ellington ballad called Chelsea Bridge. And we're going to go ahead and feature here Mr. Julio Longcobb on the alto sax. This is a really neat arrangement of this. This is a newer arrangement. I really like this one. It's a beautiful ballad that goes into a jazz waltz and then comes back to that beautiful ballad towards the end. So I hope you enjoy this one. You're Julio Longcobb, alto on Chelsea Bridge.
I'm sorry, the bass and the piano monitor. The bass is way too loud. Thanks.
on the alto sax. Julio, bravo. Great job. All right. I am a fan of jazz waltzes, in fact, and I'm happy enough to not only have that jazz waltz and that ballad there, but I got one more that's actually a full-on waltz all the way through. This is an interesting source material piece. This is a tune originally done by, of all people, Karen Carpenter. This is the old tune Superstar, and it's been redone as a jazz waltz, and we're going to be hearing from a few folks. Let me remind myself who I'm listening to. Quite a few. Right up on top, actually, you're going to be hearing from Chet Caldera playing the main melody on this tune. And I want to give special thanks to Chet for bringing along 10 people to, and I bet SoHo is very happy about that too. In addition, we're going to be hearing from Chris again here on the tenor sax. We're going to be hearing, yes, absolutely. We're going to be hearing again also from Len back there on the trumpet as well. And then we're going to go ahead and actually be hearing a little bit from Hayden Lowe there on the drums as well. Superstar, Karen Carpenter. Here we go, as a waltz. Big hand for Chen. Thanks for the whole phone section on that one right there, as well as Chris and Len and Hayden back there as well. All right. You ever get a chance to take the jazz history class over at City College, right? You will learn that there are many, many different subcategories of jazz, right? So we've given you a straightforward swing, we've given you a ballad, we've given you a waltz, and it's now time for some, what we originally called Afro-Cuban jazz. Now we just call more generically Latin jazz. And so this is another one here actually by Benny Carter, and it's called Amoroso. And this is actually a little of a hybrid tune. We heard this a lot in early Afro-Cuban kind of charts where you would go ahead, like in A Night in Tunisia, for example, and you do the Latin groove, and then you go into swing. So we're gonna go back and forth between this Latin groove and this swing here. Where again, I believe, Chris, you, I think, are taking your 75th solo tonight, something like that, and I believe Len is on his 73rd. But we're also going to be hearing from our whole rhythm section here. We're going to get a little groove pocket going in here for you. So if you feel like getting up and dancing around, go for it. So here we are, Amoroso by Benny Carter.
I know. I'm just wow, all those people. Wow. Okay.
We're experiencing some heavy symbolism up here. So. I'm glad someone liked that joke. You didn't. Okay. While we're paused, I will like to go ahead and point out, though, if you were here a couple of weeks ago, you got to hear our other of our three big bands, and that's the Monday Madness Big Band. All three of those big bands are going to be playing on Monday night. We live Mondays because jazz musicians don't gig usually on Monday nights, so we get everybody there. We're going to be on Monday night, November the 20th. That's the Monday right before the Thanksgiving weekend. And we'll be in the Garvin Theater over at City College starting at 7 o'clock. All three of our big bands. Good Times, Lunch Break, and Monday Madness back to back to back that night. We're going to have some new stuff in there for you, too. So if you can make it out, Monday, November the 20th, right before Thanksgiving, we'd love to get you there. All right, are we all set? Let's do it. Other hand for Chris and Len and our whole rhythm section going on back there. Yeah. We have one last one from this band before we turn it over to the New World Jazz Ensemble. And this one is an absolutely iconic tune in the history of jazz, April in Paris. So, if you are not aware of this tune, if you're not of a certain age, and you're not aware of this tune, go out and Netflix Blazing Saddles. Right? The movie, the Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles. One of the greatest scenes in all of cinema, right? It's an old Western, right? But the sheriff is riding with Gucci saddlebags. And instead of hearing something like the Magnificent Seven thundering in the back, you hear the soundtrack as April in Paris. And he's riding through the desert in the middle of nowhere, absolutely nowhere. And the camera pans over, and there's the entire Count Basie big band in the middle of the desert for no reason whatsoever, playing April in Paris. And Count Basie tips his sailor's hat, and the sheriff tips his cowboy hat and goes riding off without saying a word. That is brilliance right there. So if you know anything about the tune, of course, the Basie band made it. Count Basie, this is his signature tune. But this arrangement we're doing tonight is actually from another legendary big band, and that is the Tonight Show Band. We were talking about Doc Severinsen back in the day when Johnny Carson was hosting. And so this was actually written for the Tonight Show Band when they had a full big band going here. So this, if you know this tune, you might not know this slightly different version of it. So we're going to be featuring, I believe, it might be Chris, I'm not sure. One more once? Okay. Yeah, right? And I believe we're actually not featuring Len this time. We're actually featuring a young gentleman back there who just finally got legitimately to City College after graduating from Carp High, and that is Conrad Stinson back there on the trumpet. He's going to take in the role of Doc himself, right? And, well, if you also know this tune, you know that the ending's a little special, so I don't want to give anything away. All right, here we go. one more once. Santa Barbara City College, Good Times Big Band. Thank you so much, and don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here. We got two more great bands coming up here. First, the New World Jazz Ensemble with Ed Smith, and the Lunch Break Big Band with the great Andrew Martinez subbing in for the equally great Jim Mui. Thank you, as always, for supporting live music in Santa Barbara. It means all so much to us. Hope to see you on November the 20th at the Garvin Theater at 7 p.m. for our big show. Thank you so much.